Okay, my job title is chef manager at the Danville meal site, and my primary responsibility is for feeding seniors nutritional food. Both we deliver it Meals on Wheels, as well as what we get in the people who come into the dining room. Plus, we offer takeout, and the takeout is a big part of our meals that we send. Um, Me, myself, I have been in this business since 1969. I started with Restaurant Associates, but even before that, my mom was a great influence on everything that I did. She was a baker, and she did a lot of cooking and had a lot of influence in the direction that I would pick to come to this point. Um, and then from there, I went off into the restaurant business, Culinary Institute of America. I worked at a hospital for 10 years as a food service director and just continued in the business until I ended up with, unfortunately, heart problems and eventually would have to retire. And after I retired, that's when I ended up finding the Danville meal site because I was driving my partner crazy trying to keep myself busy in the kitchen, making too many things. And so I ended up there. She comes and she helps me out. And she pretty much takes care of a lot of the paperwork and different state forms that we have to fill out and request for grants, as well as I myself take care of the cooking, purchasing, and so forth. And it's worked out to be a great partnership. And together, that's our responsibility, feeding seniors nutritious food.
So you've told us a little bit how you got started. What was your very first step to begin all of this work?
The very first step was to obviously apply for the job that they had offered. The meal site itself was on the verge of bankruptcy. They couldn't find anybody that could really put um, the meals together and keep it coordinated and draw a interest, I guess, with it. And since I had the experience, I was able to take and put that together and start providing regular good food. And from there, we've grown, and we're really successful today. I mean, we have a bank account to back us up, so we'll stay in business should things turn to the worst. But as we know, the senior population is getting larger, and the requirements are becoming more and more rigid. So it takes that understanding and knowledge, but it also takes a passion to continue to do this every day that we do it. And I feel like I provide that to the meal site and keep everybody happy. Also, that I'll add this to it is that Kathy, my partner, takes care of a lot of the programs that we do there. And we keep trying to expand that to try to get seniors to socialize and get up and get out and come in and do things. She just came up with this new game that's based on cornhole that we cut holes in boards and throw bean bags and they give awards for it and stuff. And people love it. And then we have Velcro darts. And then we also have a large screen TV that we got from a grant. And that large screen TV, we do exercise, we do different classes and educational type programs that have to do with seniors driving, nutritional food, and things like that.
You've mentioned that you have been able to purchase high quality local farm foods with grant funding. Can you share more as to how you work with beneficial partners, stakeholders, and supporters?
Yeah, for the third year in a row, we've applied for a food bank grant that has come through. And what it does is the money that comes from it has to be spent at local or i.e. Vermont farms. And so we're fortunate that we have 2 or 3 farms right in the immediate area. So we built a relationship with them. And what we do is we order fresh grown foods that are one of them is actually certified organic. and 2 other ones are use organic style farming and stuff that they do. But it's great food. It's fresh. It's a nice variety, and from that, I end up doing. I really have an interest in making stocks because our menu itself has soups on it. I bake my own bread for it, and then we have the entrees, and then we have for people that come in dining, we have our homemade ice cream that we put out. And so all these things come from the food products that we get from the farms and local supply houses. So
How have you been able to continuously offer nutritional and appealing meals with the constant change in ingredient availability and cost?
well, a lot of that's got the menus that I put out there are written a month in advance. So it gets a little more complicated if we're not sure what foods are going to be available at that time completely, as well as we rely on donations from the food bank and from other people, from farmers and stuff that come in. The best way I can put that is understanding the state mandated requirements for the nutrition. So vitamin C, vitamin A, whole grains, the amount of salt, the amount of fat, and different things that can be in there, and trying to use the best products, and then any substitutions we may fit within those categories. And as long as we have the right amount of protein and the right amount of each of the individual nutrients, then we're okay. We can make the changes. Then it's just understanding people. We have this simple quality assurance program that's based on calling people and asking them how they like the food, how they like the meals that day, and then from there, I try to write a menu that is people are going to eat. I mean, if you put things on it that they don't understand, and crazy as it sounds, something like quinoa is a really great grain, and it's full of nutrition, but people don't know what it is, and so a lot of people are not going to have it. So we try not to do that as a primary uh, uh, item on the menu. But if you put on meatloaf, or you put on Salisbury steak, or you put on veggie lasagna or something, they can relate to that. So that's where we get all our nutrition in. Plus the soups supplement the nutrition that we put out there. Plus everything is made from our homemade stocks. So that's another addition.
What, if anything, would you do differently?
The biggest problem that we have at our place is storage. We're unable to take advantage of things that come in that we can actually freeze or dry store or something, so that we can use it during times when we don't have them. We've been really lucky, and we have a great group of volunteers that help us out. I couldn't do half the stuff that I do if it wasn't for the volunteers. We've got some volunteers that'll take certain vegetables home, and actually like the butternut squash, and they'll peel and cut them up and then bring them back so that we have them all set. And it adds to that time that we have to deal with these things in the kitchen. What would I do differently? I'm not so sure that I could answer that easily, because every day is a different challenge, and every day is a whole different set of either problems or something that we have to deal with, and we just gotta take it as it comes, and it works out.
Tell us one fun or interesting fact about yourself.
Probably the most, I don't know how many people would find this interesting, but I am a Buddhist, and I spend a lot of time in meditation and a lot of time contemplating what it is that I'm actually doing and how to make myself and the world better. I mean, Buddhism is not a religion. It's all about a science of improving the world, and through compassion and empathy. And it's just a great opportunity to be in a situation where I can really devote that passions into the food and things that we send to people and give them something. And maybe it doesn't nourish their soul, but at least it nourishes their bodies. And if their bodies are in a little better shape, then they're going to obviously, maybe the rest of it will follow as they go along. This is my herb garden that I have. A lot of things that I grow here I use for the site. I have a greenhouse that isn't quite up yet, and so we grow some of the vegetables and things that we have here, as well as buying them from the local farms.